Welcome inside the State Champs studio for the State Champs High School Sports Show presented by Lawrence Tech. We had an exciting week across the state of Michigan with volleyball districts.
You've got that right. Playoffs are heating up, and here are some highlights to take a look at.
We start with the Division I district semifinal. A pair of downriver teams went at it as Woodhaven took on Trenton. Woodhaven won the Downriver League during the regular season. This would be the senior Brooke Hart going up for the kill. The Warriors would take the opening set. Trenton, a young squad here trying to stay in it. A pair of juniors hooking up as Molly Edmonds feeds it over to London Williams, who gets it to go. The second set was close early on, but the Warriors would prevail later. As Jalen Martin smacks it down, Warriors now lead 2-0. And they would keep that momentum from there on as Julia Downey sends it home for the kill as Woodhaven sweeps Trenton in 3 to advance to the district final to play Bedford.
I'm Chris Gorski on the west side at Forest Hills Eastern, where the Hawks hosted a district semifinal match against West Catholic. First set, West Catholic getting off to a good start. Jocelyn Hipp sets up Alexis Patterson for the kill as the Falcons push their lead. Later in the set, Falcons spreading out the offense. Ellie Buys finds Grace Nyholt for the point as West Catholic takes the first set 25-15. Second set, Hawks looking for a spark. Adelaide Caton gets the kill, and we would see more from the sophomore later on in this one. West Catholic up by a point in the middle of the set. Buys finds Emma Tuttle this time for the kill as the Falcons start to build their lead back up. West Catholic looking to close out the set. Buys finds Brooke Teets for the kill as the Falcons win set 2, 25-17. West Catholic would open a big lead in the third, but Caton and the Hawks would claw back into this one. Caton led everyone with 14 kills on the night. But West Catholic would answer. Teets gets another kill as the Falcons start to pull away. Down the stretch in this one, senior Cadence Dykstra would come up huge for the Falcons. She gets a couple of late kills as West Catholic wins this one in straight sets. At Caledonia High School, where the Fighting Scots hosted Forest Hills Central with a district championship on the line. First set, Scots looking to set the tone early on in this one, and sophomore Cambria Gaillard does just that with the kill as Caledonia builds an early lead. Rangers looking to dig themselves out of the early deficit. Sarah Dunn with the spike to help the cause, but the first set would go to Caledonia. Paige Williamson with the kill as the Scots take the set 25-17. Second set, Rangers knowing they need an answer. They set up Brooke Bowers for the spike as FHC takes an early lead. Later in the set, junior Avery Westlow gets into the action with the big kill as the Rangers take set 2 25-23. The third set opened with Caledonia building a big lead, but here we see junior Maggie Snyder helping the Rangers' cause as they start chipping away. Later in the set, Gaillard gets the kill into the corner for the Scots as they fight to maintain their lead. But the Rangers would battle all the way back in this one. Dunn with another kill as Forest Hills Central takes the third set, 25-23. Close score here in the fourth set. The Rangers get the ball to Westlow for the spike as FHC takes a slight lead. Later in the set, Rangers building on that lead. This time, Dunn gets the kill for Forest Hills Central. And down the stretch in this one, Bowers gets another kill as Forest Hills Central wins this one in 4 sets to claim the district championship.
All right, everybody, time to get into some Mr. Football talk presented by Hungry Howie's. Sean Belizean here, of course, as he is every weekend. Boy, I'll tell you what, Sean, This is, every week we're saying, it's heating up, but it's really heating up because now we are starting to see teams that are falling off the table, meaning they're losing in the playoffs. Did we expect West Bloomfield to lose, especially the way they did? I mean, we had Anvil candidates and we had Mr. Football candidates in this particular game. But the bottom line is West Bloomfield is no more. Samaj Morgan is going to have to, if he is going to get into the Final Four, and let me say, if Samaj had continued on the path he was, regardless of the stats, his value to the team, his performance and what he would do on both sides of the ball really would have given him an excellent chance to possibly have gotten into the Final Four outside of the vote. However, it is what it is. These are the most pivotal games. The district championships and the regionals have more to do with pushing a Mr. Football or Anvil candidate forward than any time in the season. He's going to have to win the vote. And I'll tell you what, if you're paying attention to the vote, I think that Cole Cabana is up by 1,000 votes or something. These guys are in like 43,000, 44,000 territory, but it doesn't take away that Samaj really did have an outstanding season. It really almost epitomizes what this award's all about.
He had a tremendous season. And, the one thing that I love that we do here, and hopefully you guys catch this, is we're always quick to point out our criteria. We live and die by that criteria. We really do. And I mention this a lot, and I'm going to mention it again here. We sit in a room when it's time, and we work strictly by that criteria. So to your point about Samaj, he checked all the boxes. I mean, he really did. Where he fell short, obviously, is the team success, going out in the first round. But highly recruited athlete, eye-popping numbers, all of those things. But Laker Nation, you have a chance to vote him into our Final Four. And that's part of the reason why we institute that fan vote, is to give somebody an opportunity. Lauren, I'm going to tell you what, you and I have not had this conversation yet, but we've had the conversation around the office. This might be the most competitive field we've had in years, and it's exciting. And you know what the beauty is? A lot of these guys are going to have it decided on the field, which is exactly the way it should be.
Absolutely. We've got some head-to-head matches this week, and you look at, again, the outstanding performances in the playoffs. Well, so far, Parker Pico is checking all those boxes. 6 touchdowns in the first playoff.
And that's what you want to see. An already impressive resume, a guy that we've talked up on this show many, many times, and he's going, hey, guys, it's been a few weeks. Remember me? Look what I did. And that's the beauty of it, Lauren. And it's money time, money players, get it done. And that is a huge prerequisite for this job.
Yeah, so we'll see who is still in the race come this weekend, and we'll find out what happens. We'll talk about it again next week. Again, just so you know the timeline, that our top 10 is frozen. Nobody else has been going in. That ended last week. After the regionals, we will then go ahead and select our, that's when the voting will end, and then we will select our Final Four. So we still got a few weeks, pivotal weeks ahead. Make sure you stay tuned. Make sure you vote. Go to StateChampsNetwork.com and click on the Mr. Football banner.
We're going to take a quick timeout and check in with this week's MHSAA Minute.
It seems you can't go anywhere these days without seeing a sign that says, "Help Wanted." That's never been more true in our schools. Simply put, we have a serious shortage of people. Which is why Public Act 184 is such a big swing and a miss. Prior to the passing of PA 184 this summer, a school employee could retire, wait 30 days, and then go back to coaching. Many coaches did this. Retire from the classroom in June, take July off, and be ready to coach again when fall practices started in early August. But now, under PA 184, that can't happen. A retiree has to wait 9 months before returning to the bench or sidelines. That's a time period that forces schools to find a replacement, effectively forcing the coach to also retire from the game. We've talked with the Office of Retirement Services, representatives from the governor's office, and the sponsor of the bill. None of them knew this unintended consequence of PA 184. But currently, nobody seems in a hurry to try and fix this. So I'm asking for your help. We need you to contact your local member of the House of Representatives, the State Senate, and even the governor's office. We need all of us to make our voices heard to let those in Lansing know that our recent retirees are needed. They're needed as coaches, they're needed as officials, and they're needed in other roles in school districts. Join with us in getting those currently sidelined back in the action.
We're going to take a quick break and check in with our friends at the DMC Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine, and we got a chance to ask one of the doctors a very important question.
Hi, my name is Skylar, and I'm from Northfield, Michigan, and my question is do all ACL injuries require surgery?
So that's a great question. So no, not all ACL injuries need surgery, especially partial ACL injuries, which are considered sprains, don't require surgery if the ligament is structurally intact and therefore doesn't result in knee instability. Complete ACL tears also do not always require surgery, especially in older individuals or individuals with certain activity levels that don't require cutting, pivoting, and twisting movements, which are all movements for which an ACL is needed. However, in most athletes, especially younger athletes, almost all complete ACL injuries require surgery to restore knee stability in order to allow patients to get back to returning to various activities and sports. And it also reduces the risk of additional other injuries such as meniscus and cartilage injuries in the knee.
Do you have a sports injury, or are you just looking to take your game to the next level? Then go where the pros go. DMC Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. For immediate care, call 313-910-9328 or visit dmc.org/gamechangers.
We're going to kick it out to the field for some soccer state semifinals.
I'm Jason Hutton. Division II boys soccer state semifinal game taking place at Byron Center. Forest Hills Northern and Gull Lake. Devils come out on fire. 5 minutes in, Riker Korstange finds Xavier Thomas in front of the goal. He buries it. Gull Lake takes the early lead. And just 4 minutes later, the Blue Devils would strike again. The dynamic duo at it again. Korstange with the one touch to Thomas. He lays it in to increase the lead. Gull Lake gets the win over Forest Hills Northern 2-0. They're a team that's relied on fast starts, but tonight was on another level.
We just got off to a flying start. We talked about it before the game, how we just needed to come out fast, just set the tone, and that's what we did. We just came out and we just didn't let's foot off the gas.
These kids just kind of put the nerves away. Started that whistle. We talked a lot about the nerves and how to control them, and our front line was creative with Riker and Xavier. And both of them have just been phenomenal. Getting those 2 goals have been huge.
The Blue Devils are headed back to the Division II state championship game after a near miss in last year's semifinal.
I'm Greg Molson in Fenton for a Division II state semifinal. The Riverview Pirates taking on the Cranbrook Cranes. Go Cranbrook! Go Cranbrook! Go Cranbrook! This was a tight defensive struggle throughout. Evan Evans with an early chance for the Cranes off the free kick that is just tipped by Jacob LeBlanc and goes off the crossbar. At the other end, Michael Gillerin slips behind the defense for the Pirates, but his shot is stopped by a diving Bora Akgun, and it remains scoreless into the second half. Denon Oglesavat gets off a good shot for the Pirates, but it's just a bit too high. Then it's Evan Evans with another free kick from midfield. He puts it in the box. That's Milo Kaizen with a great touch pass to Nathan Hooker for the goal. Cranbrook takes the lead with just over 10 minutes to play, and that was enough to win it as the Cranes hold on for the shutout. Cranbrook wins it 1-0 to advance to the D2 state championship game, where they will play Richland Gull Lake Saturday at noon in Nova.
I think it's our second time in school history, so it's great to make history. I mean, it feels good, amazing. Just one more game. Just got to stay on top of it.
1, 2, 3, Rose! Let's go, boys. Let's go.
I'm Chris Gorski back on the west side, where Holland Christian took on Elk Rapids with a trip to the state finals on the line. Just over 3 minutes into the game, Michael Pierce dribbles deep into Elk's territory, sends one into the middle where Lake Vanderploeg puts it into the back of the net, 1-0 Holland Christian. Later in the half, the Maroons going back to that playbook. This time, Parker Fenton finds Jordan Reese for the goal, putting them up 2. Corner kick for Holland Christian. Lucas Frericks with the service. Caden Brink there with the header for the score, giving the Maroons a 3-goal lead. Just before half, Elk Rapids with a corner kick. Noah Hilly sends it in, and Spencer Ball finishes it with the header, pulling the Elks back within 2 at the half. Late second half, Frericks dribbles a ball past the defender, sends it across the box, and finds Pierce, who adds a goal to his earlier assist as Holland Christian punches their ticket to the state finals.
I'm Kevin Czerzinski, and we head out to Troy, Athens for this boys Division I semifinal matchup between Rochester Adams and Salem. The Region 4 winners of Adams had no trouble scoring en route to the semis, as Salem playing great defense, clean sheet in both games for the Rocks in Region 3. High-octane action about to be blazing on the pitch, and it did not take long for Adams to open up the scoring. Junior Colton James, perfect placement on the ball, and finds Jackson Kraft on the break. Quick flick off the junior's left boot hits the back of the net. Adams takes the lead, 31 minutes left in the first at 1-0. Salem aims to retort a few minutes later. Senior Mark Masai sends the nice through pass over to stricken Foster Garrett, but the Highlander keeper steps up in a big way to keep Salem off the board. That's junior John Coon with the stop. Adams holding on to a 1-0 lead. Still in the first, Salem on the corner. Ball headed away by the Adams D is contained back by Salem. Senior Griffin Ellis hits the cross over to senior Jack Kroll, and Kroll sails it just wide. Rochester Adams still leads 1-0 as we head into halftime. Coming back from break, Adams gets an amazing goal right here courtesy of Jackson Kraft. The long shot beats the goalie, hits the inside post, and crosses the line for the goal. And that's all she wrote. Kraft nets 2 as Rochester Adams shuts out Salem 2-0 your final. Adams set to face Rockford for the D1 title Saturday, noon in Comstock Park.
Entering its 26th year of excellence, applications are being accepted right now for the Detroit Athletic Club Foundation's Michigan Male and Female High School Athlete of the Year Awards. Not everyone qualifies, so listen closely. If you are a recognized first-team All-State athlete in a sport or projected to be one this school year, if you have at least a cumulative 3.0 GPA, and if you have demonstrated leadership through the school or as a community volunteer, we want you to apply. 6 male and 6 female student athletes will be nominated, with each being awarded $1,000 of college scholarship money. The winners will receive $5,000 each. The 26th Michigan High School Athlete of the Year Awards will take place at the incredible Detroit Athletic Club in downtown Detroit the evening of Monday, June 5th, and streamed live on the State Champs Sports Network. Nomination applications will be accepted through Monday, March 6th, and this is important. You cannot be nominated if you don't apply. Download the application today at dacathleteoftheyear.com. That's dacathleteoftheyear.com.
LTU hosted its 10th annual Grand Prix, and we were there to capture it all, so check it out.
So today we're having the Grand Prix, and so that we invite a lot of colleges come out, other schools. We have like Michigan State, we have Oakland, Wayne, we have a couple others as well. We bring them all inside, and the combustion team hosts it, and we just simulate a whole competition run. So we have the tech inspection, we have brake testing, and then we have the competition course out there, which is it's a kind of an autocross course, and so we're kind of testing who has the best agility as well as overall car. It's a lot of teamwork. For our team specifically, we had to go back in the lab and machine a whole new tow link. And so that just right there, we have 10 guys working on it. Everyone's working, it's one big machine right now. Every gear's moving, and if one gear doesn't move, then we're not moving. But right now, we are able to get on the track and keep going. Oh, it's a blast. It's so much fun. It may be a lot of hard work, but we have a good time. You see everyone around us. We're all smiling. We have a lot of people who are like breaking down, but when you get back, we engineering mindset. If it breaks, we got to fix it. Get out there, compete. There's a couple good schools out there, but I think we're definitely the underdog, and we're coming out. We're looking better every run. We're pulling it together, and I think we're going to give some of these top teams a run for their money. So top team here, it seems to be Oakland and Michigan State. They look very good. So this is the first year for the 2023 competition teams. So we do this event early on. It gets everyone hands-on experience to see what you're going to expect. And then our next competition is going to be in May and then in June.
All right, we've done the Mr. Football thing. Now we want to get into the Anvil thing, and that is having the Anvil Award discussion, as we do every week here on Extra Point, presented again by our friends at Hungry Howie's. Make sure when you're hungry for a pizza, please call up Hungry Howie's, and we appreciate that. They are big supporters of state champs, and they have been for years. Well, Tim Beckler, the coach, is here with us, and we are going to get into it. And I'll tell you what, we had kind of a heavyweight matchup. You know, when you think about it, when you really, really think about it. Now, again, Anvil is looking for the top linebacker or lineman in the state. And we had arguably three of the best, in the state going at it in the first round. And boy, it was one-sided.
It was. Jalen Thompson wins the Anvil head-to-head against Brandon David Swain and Amir Herring's West Bloomfield team. How much does that give Jalen an advantage moving forward? And how much does it hurt Swain and Herring's chances,
Yeah, and if you think about it, just on that topic alone, Coach, it does help Jalen Thompson's a lot because Cass Tech were underdogs going in, that they're up against what we had a top 5 team in the state. When you look at team success, big game performance, that's where it's going to be because from a defensive side, they really shut down Samaj Morgan, Mr. Football candidate, and that West Bloomfield offense.
Absolutely. And then now we've lost Jeremiah Alston Jackson as unbeaten Redford Union falls to Livonia Clarenceville. I was kind of surprised by that. And then Jack Story and Brighton are gone as Grand Ledge just put the wood to those guys. I couldn't believe that score either.
I tell you, it's why you love high school football, right? Yeah. It's like you can't look past anyone because it will come back to bite you. But I know that Brighton was facing a lot of injuries on their team, but Grand Ledge came to play and they took care of business. So Brighton is done, and we have some guys that are out. And, we've also got some matchups this week.
Yes, we could lose both Kavanaugh Ditton and Cole Dellinger as they have a tough battle with a surging Davison team who they lost to in week 1.
Yeah.
Now, the good thing is, and we're going to talk a little more about that.
Go ahead.
Week 1 was a long time ago.
It was.
So that could be an advantage for Clarkston. So if Clarkston wins, that's going to be big for both of those guys.
It is a rematch with Clarkston, and we're going to see this a lot now this week, especially, and this gets into the question that we're going to get into this week when we talk about teams that are playing somebody a second time, whether it was week 1, week 4, week 5, seeing them in the playoffs, Coach. And I know you've been in this scenario several times. So talk about what it means to a team when you face somebody twice, the difficulty of doing so in the same season. Again, in Division I, we have a lot of matchups this week where we're featuring teams who have played each other already.
It's a tough deal. In basketball, they say it's tough to beat the same team 3 times, for high school. In football, it's tough to beat them twice. So I have been in that situation 9 different times. Luckily, we went on to win 7 of those 9, but it is a tough deal. If you lose that first game matchup, you have the advantage. Your kids are fired up, you're fired up. It's about redemption. You get a second chance, And then you watch the game prep and go, okay, this didn't work. We get to make all these different changes going into our game prep that the winning team doesn't have. So the advantage definitely goes to the losing team. However, they better keep that score close going into the fourth quarter. If they don't, Doubt's going to come in because that is the one disadvantage they have. They don't think they can win. They're not 100% sure, and they've got a lot of doubt. So they've got to keep that game close into that fourth quarter. If you won the game, very difficult situation. It helps if you played them a long time ago, week 1, week 2, week 3, because it's fresh.
Like Clarkston's case.
Exactly. But if you play them in week 7 or 8 or 9 and then turn around, ooh, that's tough. So lots of disadvantages for this. Game prep. You got it right the first time. Your kids outplayed them, you outcoached them. What do you change? What do you do differently? And you might want to add a few wrinkles and run it early in the game to try to gain momentum, because that's what you've got to do as the winning team coming into that replay. You got to get a fast start and put doubt into your opponents right away. Problem is, if you put too many wrinkles in, your kids are going to be looking around and say, what's this? Why are we putting a reverse in? What do we, aren't we good enough to beat them again? So you got to be really careful and really keep an eye on how your team's vibe is when adding new things. And then mentally, it's just pumping them up. It can't be we have to go play these guys again. It's got to be, hey, we get to go beat these guys twice. And hopefully it's a rivalry, so they're fired up. We get to beat them a second time in the same year. What's better than that?
Nothing.
So you gotta sell that. A couple little things: uniforms. If it's still a same home away matchup, do not change your uniforms, because there's a lot of alternate uniforms. Keep the same uniform, because it's like, for the kids, it's like, oh, here we go again. Team we played, I won't mention them, but they made a mistake. We beat them at their place in week 9. I'm sick all week because we got to go back and play in week 10. They changed their uniforms. I'm like, thank you, hot diggity. Yeah. Our kids thought we were playing somebody totally new. It's huge. I'm telling you, the psychological part is very huge. And then if you won the game, coaches, you've got to have your best week of coaching. You've got to install your game plan with that same excitement, same attention to detail, same intensity as you did the first time. And don't fall in the trap of listening to your kids say, Coach, I got this. I got your back. No, they don't. They are going to break your heart. You make them show you 20 times in practice that they've got it, or they'll break your heart.
There you go. And this is coming from a coaching Hall of Famer here, Tim Beckler, from longtime Canton head coach, and we appreciate those insights. And listen up, players. This is the big time. This is the time of year. This is where you're going to leave your legacy. You seniors out there know that. You could be playing your last high school football game this season. Hey, the vote is going crazy. Kavanaugh Ditton is leading it by a couple thousand. Dylan Senda still in the mix. Dearborn, Child, and Clarkston still alive for now. Get out there and vote for your guys, because, again, if they fall out of the playoffs, the only way, most likely at this point, they'll get into the Final Four is if you vote them in. So do it now at statechampsnetwork.com. Click on the Anvil banner on the homepage.
Well, it's been a fun past couple of weeks, but we're going to take a short break, but make sure you guys look out for our state champs at the state final shows coming up.
Yep, we've got a lot of sports competing in those state finals, so look out for that. And like Liz said, just a short little hiatus here, and we'll be back in studio for the high school sports show in just a few weeks. So you guys have a great one.
State Champs High School Sports Show is powered by Lawrence Technological University. Visit l2athletics.com and recruit yourself. State Champs is also brought to you by the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. The Michigan Army National Guard, a proud sponsor of the MHSAA. And the Detroit Medical Center Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine Pros. Visit dmc.org/gamechangers. Hungry Howie's, famous for flavor.